Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the After Credit Show. I am your host, Brandon. This is a geek culture podcast where we talk about all things fictional, and today I am joined by my good friends, Evander.
Yup.
And Ben.
How do you
Now,
do?
before we get into this episode, I just want to make sure that you guys remember to like, comment, and subscribe because this is a new podcast that we're trying to launch off. So just make sure to do all those things. But without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it because we have a lot of news and topics to cover this week. So, Evander, just kick us off with the first thing.
There's so much stuff. I want to talk about one thing real quick that wasn't added to the list, but I saw it. I wanted to talk. Have you guys seen what's happening with like Xbox recently?
Gamepass went up like crazy.
Yes.
I actually canceled it.
I did too.
I barely use it, so I was like going on to this, opening up the Xbox, which I had like covered the dust off it to turn it on, and I just canceled that. I was like, yep. Nope, not dealing with that.
Have you seen that, Brandon?
So what, did it go up to like $20 a month?
No.
30.
So yes, Game Pass has been $20 a month for forever, and it went up to $30 a month. And they're introducing ads into all like the tiers except for the bottom tier. So you'll be playing a game, and you have to want to break from the ads.
Wait, are you serious? Wait, so like,
How's that work?
after a cutscene, it'll just cut
I don't
to
know.
Like,
I have no
Harry's
idea.
Razor ad?
I have no idea. I don't know how it's gonna work, but they were like, "Don't worry, guys. We're also, if you get the highest tiers, $30, but you get Fortnite Crew."
Dude.
Everyone was like, "Fuck you! I don't want Fortnite Crew." And they're like, "And you don't get the games on day one anymore unless you pay for the Super Deluxe Ultra Pass."
Jesus
that was
Christ.
cool.
Dude, that's insane. I can't believe... Like, Xbox Game Pass was already a fake deal that people fell for, and I fell for, and we all did at some point.
I've been an Xbox Game Pass detractor for forever. I know everyone loves it, but I'm like, yes, $20, it's cool. There's pros to it. Like, I'm not going to shit on the fact you can play, like, brand new releases day one. That's cool. But I feel like a lot of it is, like, if you're not hyped for a release, it's like, here's $20 for a library that's, like, 80%, like, shit you probably don't want to play that much. That's how I felt looking at it.
And also, I didn't know, but
titles.
they also completely went away with Xbox Live. Like, it's not Xbox Live anymore. It's Game Pass
only
now.
Game Pass.
I had
They
no
folded them
idea.
into one. Yeah, I know. They also hiked up the prices on all Xbox models. So if you go to GameStop and buy an Xbox, it's more expensive now.
Good thing I don't own one. Yippee, yippee.
Let's go.
So
Wait, what's the increase? Is it like $50?
Like 50 to $100, I believe, something like that.
Oh,
but it's more expensive. And finally, the Xbox handheld had its price revealed.
The
What do you think
Soldier
it
Game
is?
handheld.
Oh, I saw how much it was.
Have you seen what the Xbox ROG Ally is, Brandon or
What?
Ben?
Was it like $300 or something?
1,000.
You would hope.
What?
It's $1,000.
What the fuck?
It's $1,000.
Just get a fucking Steam Deck. Like, what the shit? What are they thinking?
I don't know. I have no idea. So it seems like they're just trying to kill the concept of Xbox as like a brand.
Yeah, like just completely tarnished the reputation. Like,
Yeah. They're like,
As
we're
if it
closing
hasn't
all the
already.
studios. We're making it impossible to have Xbox Live. We're making it impossible to buy a console. You got to spend $1,000 to fucking to buy our handheld. Which I don't know if you know. ROG, that company, I believe, that handheld device, that's not an original thing. Like, that's a company that makes handheld devices.
I
They're
heard
just
about
making
that,
an
yeah.
Xbox one. It's not new
Yeah.
technology. They're just putting Xbox games basically on it.
And isn't the device like if you just got the device without the Xbox branding, isn't it much? It's like $600.
I think
No?
so. I believe
I'm
so.
pretty sure it's a lot cheaper than a grand.
Yeah. So that's
No
cool.
console, no handheld console or console alone should ever be a grand. Let's just get that out of the way. That's insane.
Buy a
That is an
PS5 for
absurd
you and
amount
your
of money.
friend. And don't even do that, but that's a better value. Like, you don't even have to buy a PS5, but like,
Did
if
I
you're gonna-
imagine this, or did Xbox at one point kind of like imply or straight up say that they were?
They
that
said
were,
no. Phil Spencer has openly said we're losing the console war. He openly said they lost against the PS4, and that was the most crucial console generation to win, which is true because when people started building their digital libraries, and people don't want to move away from their digital library because it carries with you to the next console. So he is right to a degree, but instead of being like, let's make a bunch of really good games, they're like, let's cancel and shut down all of our game studios instead. And let's chart, like, people think that like they're just trying to drive the theory is that with all these price increases, they're trying to squeeze the last pennies they can out of whoever's sticking around and drive away everyone who's just going to leave and just can everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Xbox just needs to fully just give up at some point. I thought they were going to fully pivot to the streaming stuff with Game Pass, but
cloud gaming.
Raising the price is not a good move. Like at all, and this handheld is not a good move. So I think the company at some point it's just gonna have to face bankruptcy probably.
Well, they would have if they weren't owned by Microsoft.
Yes, I was about to say they have been allowed to clown around for this long because they're bolstered by Microsoft. So that's why they've been allowed to just do whatever they want. And so that's
not ultra hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ultra hard. All right, Brandon. Thank you for that one.
No, it's no problem. It's all right.
Let's think on video games. Did you watch the trailer for the Halloween game?
Yeah. I find it really interesting how they're using the Friday the 13th mechanic of how Jason would kind of
shadow teleport.
I think like that's fine with Michael in like with that type of setting. I will say with Friday the 13th, the teleporting is a lot more like, okay, he totally just like teleported.
Yeah, it was fun because in the Friday the 13th game, they did it as like a funny haha because he does that inexplicably in the movies, and it's like more of like a how did he do that, less of a like a thing. They were just trying to make a funny reference to the fact that he can do that, and they made it a gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, and I think Michael doing that in a game is fine because it's a video game. You want the player to have the best experience and all that. I will say in the movies, like it's not like quite to that level, but again, it's a game. That's fine.
I think it's. I agree. It's if it facilitates the gameplay, and if they're just like, listen, we're just doing the Friday the 13th game again, but with Halloween. That's fine. I love that game. The Friday the 13th game was awesome. It was such a fun time. Yeah. So I'm glad. They said they're doing a single-player campaign.
Yep.
Which is interesting. I don't know if it's going to be like... Before Friday the 13th got shit-canned, they added in like single-player stuff where it was like, you're on a road. There's two guys down there, you have to kill them, and it would give you like challenges of like how to kill them. Hopefully it's more than that. Hopefully... My fear is that the story mode is going to be bad. I feel like it's going to be like, you're in a big area and here's 10 NPCs that are going to run around and do like, and you have to kill them all one by one.
Look, us as a group have a long history with this style of game because every time one comes out, we'll buy it and we'll play it for like maybe a month at max.
Oh, the Evil Dead one was like for usually. A day.
Yeah, for like a day, because these games
Evil Dead
are usually
was crazy. That was getting hyped up by everybody. That one's like, the Evil Dead game is awesome. So we're like, hell yeah, play it. And we were like, this game
dude, if you got to play as like the entity, you won every round. It was an impossible game to win. But we have a long history with these games, so I'm hoping this one is good so we can actually get into it again, because Friday the 13th was like the only one that was worth playing.
Dead by Daylight.
That I would actively go back to. Dead by Daylight is also very good.
I'm playing Dead by Daylight right now. Like, I re-downloaded and playing the fuck out of it. It's so fun.
Yeah, the last thing I bought was like the Stranger Things pack and the Resident Evil pack, and they're both great. I love that game. That's awesome. I got to play it again. But hopefully this is good. I hope the story mode is actually something and not just kill 10 enemies in this time limit. That would be great. I think
it would be cool. I mean, I know what you'll be playing as Michael, but I've always thought it would be cool to have like a horror, because the horror games they make are always playing as like the killer. I'm like, I want to play as a survivor, like Alien Isolation. Imagine that, but like with Michael, just like chasing you down the halls. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think they're gonna have to do that because, with the gameplay mechanics, they basically implied that like Michael cannot die like in the game. I don't know how they're gonna implement like the losing option. Like they're.
And it was probably just Michael, like in Friday where you just had to escape.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
yeah.
I remember you could kill Jason, but it was like the whole lobby had to work together. Because you had to knock his mask off, take the mask. It was a whole process.
Dude, playing that game with just like random people is next to impossible. You can't get anything done. You're just like, okay, let me find the key to this car and the battery, because that's my only opportunity to escape this. If you're not playing with friends, but still a great game, still really fun. Whenever you get to play as Jason, oh my god, they shut down the servers for that game, right?
Yeah, they shut that down
game
a while ago.
Dead. It's dead.
That sucks, dude.
I'm pretty sure they also made I'm pretty sure they made the Texas Chainsaw game too.
Maybe.
I think they did, which I played for a little bit. It was pretty good too, but it was the same game.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I feel like Halloween's the biggest IP out of all those.
It is, yeah.
I want a Scream version at some point. That would be awesome. I feel like that's probably the best one you could do, but.
Scream, I would kill for like a story-based Scream game. That would be so awesome.
Yeah. I could imagine. I could picture like a really good Telltale style Scream game.
Yep. There were rumors that's what we were getting from the Supermassive team, but it ended up just being rumors.
It would be cool really great. That if all the endings were actually different and not just the same. But
well, that's
slightly tailored.
That's what I like about Supermassive. They actually have different endings to their game. Like Telltale, I'd be like, all right, buddy.
That's the Detroit Become Human people?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that Star Wars game is still being made.
Oh, Eclipse?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that in a while.
That kind of went dark for a while. We'll see what happens with that. But that's a great studio, so I hope it's true. But
yeah, I'm a big fan. There's also a trailer for Wolverine. We went back in time. All these trailers just came out. How'd this happen?
Yeah, all of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hell?
Dude, this game, I lost a lot of positivity and faith for Insomniac after Spider-Man 2, which was an unfortunate letdown. But just based off this trailer, it looks like they're doing a pretty decent job with the R rating. I like the Wolverine casting. I like the voice. I like the art direction they're going with. What?
Who plays Wolverine?
You know who. It's the Weather Wizard, dude. Weather Wizard 2, by the way. From The Flash, the hit CW series, The Flash.
I was so mad when you told me that. Not because I think it'd be bad, but the fact that Brandon identified him as Weather Wizard 2.
That's the first thing I ever saw him in.
What else has he been in?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's the only thing you ever saw him in.
So wait, what's your problem with it then? Because I feel like that's, you know.
If I looked him up on IMDb and I was like, he's Weather Wizard 2, I wouldn't bring that up.
Well,
that's it.
I'm an avid Flash watcher before season 5.
Bro, me and Ben hit you with the look when you said that shit. All right, fucking
before season 5. But that's besides the point. The trailer was awesome. The game looks really good.
I agree. I like that it's not just the combat system from Spider-Man, but with claws. It looks like you have environmental interactions, it looks like, are a big part of it, and apparently actual like combos. It seems the vibe was more like God of War remake, like the 2018 and Ragnarok.
My question is, why are they making a trailer for a game that's already out? I have it on my PC. I played it the other day.
You can't be saying this stuff.
No. That's a lie. But
no, he doesn't actually have it. I am curious.
That is a great point though, because people were concerned that this game was either going to get like indefinitely delayed or canceled because of those leaks. So I'm very happy we got this trailer.
Yeah. I thought the trailer was cool. Omega Red is in it. Big hype for me. I love Omega Red. Sentinels, cool to see always. Mystique looked cool. And they have
I think is going to be a playable character for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying it's Mystique missions instead of NJ missions, which sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'd rather be Mystique than Mary Jane Watson.
What a crazy imbalance. You know, you get the Spider-Man games where you get to play as Mary Jane, and then you get Wolverine where you get to play as a literal shapeshifter that probably has really cool mission ideas.
A shapeshifter super assassin. That sounds awesome. But yeah, lots of hype. I saw they addressed that you gain health in the game through passive healing, but your passive healing only starts when you're doing insane combo chains. Like, you have to like pull off longer combos to get your healing up. So the better you are at murdering people, the longer you'll stay alive, which sounds cool. I like that.
That's awesome.
That's a good way to balance it for sure.
Yeah. They just have to.
Dude, have you guys seen the complaints from like Redditors being like, but Wolverine can't die, so what are the stakes in this game?
I haven't seen that, but I saw like a YouTube short parodying people saying that, and I'm like, where's been a Wolverine game? And it's really good. There's been a Deadpool game, and it's okay. There's a fucking God of War game, and he can't die. There's a bunch of God of War games. I've played a bunch of games with people who can't die. What do you mean? You get a mission over screen. The game says you did too bad, go back. Lego Star Wars! Every Lego game you can't die. What do you people mean? He doesn't actually fucking kick the bucket in the story. Yeah, if you lose a fight, you go back. The game doesn't continue with Wolverine being dead. What are the stakes of the story? The same stakes in every Wolverine story. He's never been able to die. What are people talking about? Why are people so stupid sometimes? What is anyone talking about? I have so many games here. If it was convenient, I would pick up every single one that is like an Invincible protect. Fucking Prototype. A fucking great game. He can't die. I don't know what else to say. I've played a lot of video games and people can't fucking die. Thanks. End of comments on that.
People are stupid.
I'm not going to play Arkham Origins, guys, because I know Batman doesn't die.
Yeah, I'm never playing any game ever again because he can't fucking die. I know. If there's a sequel to the game, I'm going to play it because he can't die. Like, what is wrong with people? People say things that they think sounds like like someone had that thought and they were like, this feels like a criticism. And then they just said it. Like,
and then everyone goes, "Oh yeah."
They're like, "That does sound like a criticism." People go, "That sounds like a complaint." Oh, it does sound like I'm gonna say it too now. People do you not think past that? I don't know.
The ability to speak does not make one intelligent.
Yeah, literally.
You got him there. What does Ben think of the game though?
Yeah, it looks awesome. Like, I don't really have any complaints. I'm surprised they can get like someone like Stephen Bloom to play Wolverine, but I like the voice they got.
I really like his Wolverine voice actually. I like it a lot. I think he has a good sound.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people, because I was talking to some of my other friends about this, and a lot of them thought they were going to take the Arkham route, where the Arkham games took the majority of the DCAU
like the
cast
iconic
for those
actors.
characters. Yeah, and I think people were under that impression just because of how many parallels that Spider-Man PS4 and PS5 had to the Arkham games. But I think this is a good deviator to demonstrate that. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's good to get new stuff for sure. Do I wish that maybe someone like that would voice him? I mean, I would love to see it, but I'm not gonna like shit on a new casting or anything like that.
Did Yuri Lowenthal play Spider-Man before?
I don't think so.
So yeah, I'm hoping we get another because I really like his voice, his Wolverine voice, and it seems like with the writing in the trailer, I was like, this seems like they have a good grip on Wolverine as a character. I like that it's like, and I like that it's also very much like Spider-Man and Arkham, where it's like this is a veteran Wolverine who's been around the block. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no origins and like just give me. Like,
that's kind of a given. He's a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not doing like it's my first time meeting the X-Men or like this is before I met the X-Men. It's like this is Wolverine. He's got the Weapon X Rogues Gallery. He knows Mystique.
Yeah, it seems like he might have already been an X-Men.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Which might be cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
It looks like this is like prime era Wolverine, which is what I like to see.
What do we think of the black and yellow suit? Because there's no blue, there's no brown, it's just black and yellow.
It's a little it's interesting. I do like it. I think it looks great, but it kind of looks like something the MCU would have produced in like 2014. Like it has that vest that all their costumes usually have. I think they could have gone a little bit more. No, because looking at Spider-Man, they do their own designs. It looks good. It looks good. It's not my ideal, is what I should say.
Yeah.
It's a little too movie costumey type
Here's
of thing.
what I'll say.
I see
what
what you
mean.
More of a comic thing.
I like that he has big ass fucking I don't know what you'd call the horns.
Yeah, the
They're
horns.
huge.
Yeah, the horns. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The helmet looks great. I do love the helmet.
I was always curious about an all black and yellow suit, and I'm glad that we have this one just so then that scratches my itch of seeing what that would look like.
It looks good. And even here, I'm looking at the cover. It actually does look a little bit brownish. It's like a very, very dark brown. But yeah. It's cool. Yeah. I like the suit. I like that they're doing the same cover design as the Spider-Man game, where it's just the one flat color background and then the suit.
This one goes harder than any Spider-Man cover ever did.
You think so?
I'm not gonna lie.
I really like it.
So good.
Brandon's a big Spider-Man fan, so that's saying a lot.
Something.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I love the pouches on the belt. I love the belt straps on the abdomen.
Here's the thing. I need to address Insomniac directly, though, because, look, I'm really sick of this full year announcement thing that they do. And with
but
the initial...
you mean 3 years.
3 years, okay? Yeah. Because, like, with the first Spider-Man game, it was that period of time. We got Wolverine announced 2 years ago at this point. This is absurd. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this. You should not be doing this.
About that.
I actually think it was more because the Spider-Man 2 trailer dropped. The premiere trailer dropped the same day as the Wolverine teaser.
They did
the same day as the Thor Ragnarok trailer. Crazy Games Fest. It was Spider-Man 2 reveal, Wolverine announced, Thor God of War Ragnarok, all in one. One game show. It was crazy. But yeah, no, it is like
and Spider-Man 2 and Thor and God of War have been out for a long time at this point. So that's insane.
They've been out for a minute.
Insomniac, get it together with that.
They've been out for a little bit. I think we're gonna wrap up talking about trailers now. We're gonna move on to the Welcome to Derry trailer. I thought that trailer was cool as fuck. I really thought it was sick.
I will say I actually quite like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I love I really like the vibe of. I like how I don't know what it has that good Spielberg Stephen Kingy there's weird mystical shit going on.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I really like the quality. That's I mean, obviously it's HBO, so that's top tier, as high as you can get in terms of budget and things like that. But yeah, it looks like it would be. From one of the previous Andy Muschietti It films. I quite like the first film. The second film, I mean, it's always tough adapting that second half of that story, I find, even with the original Tim Curry one. They had a hard time adapting that one as well. But, I mean, I think this is a completely original story, so...
It might just be a big downgrade from the...
Yeah, I think the adult stuff with it, because even reading the book, which is, one of the few books I've actually sat down and read, it drags. The kid stuff is always the more appealing part of that story. Yeah. But this trailer looks great. I'm so happy that Bill Skarsgård is back as Pennywise, and in all the prosthetics again and doing his thing. And it just seems like it's going to be capturing more of the vibe from the first movie rather than the second, that's great news.
Yep. And it looks more, which is weird because Stranger Things is kind of aping this, but it has that good Stranger Things-y vibe with Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's so weird, that endless cycle, because I see the It trailer, I'm like, damn, this feels like season 1 of Stranger Things. And when Stranger Things came out, everyone loved it. And then the It movie came out shortly after, and I was like, man, this is just like Stranger Things, but as a movie. And the Stranger Things TV show is emulating all those Spielberg and Stephen King books. It's just an endless endless cycle.
And they all starve
the snake
Wolfhard.
eating its own tail.
Yeah. Yeah, literally the Ouroboros. I think it looks cool. And it's set in the original time period that the book was set in. Because the book was set in like the 50s and the 60s. And it wasn't until the movie that they moved it to the 80s. I think even the miniseries, the Tim Curry one, was set in the original 60s.
I think so, yeah. That's what I remember.
You know what
I remember that, like, you had Seth Green in the theater, and then, like, the whole theater scene. That's what I remember the most from it. So I'm just like, what period is that in? But yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
It looks cool. One thing I think is interesting, or not interesting, but this is a Warner Brothers product, and I mean, I guess they don't have the license, but in the book, all the things that Pennywise transforms in, he just transforms into the Universal monsters, right? Just like Dracula and the Wolfman. And I mean, that'd be cool if they were able, to do that in this. But then I was like, those Universal monsters. But I'm like, Universal actually does not own the rights to those characters, because Dracula and Frankenstein, all that shit, it's just an old book.
It's a very it's a little bit of a gray area of those, because obviously like the Dracula novel or like the Frankenstein like novel,
I'm assuming
like,
it's the
look
of them.
Public domain. But yeah, it's definitely the designs for sure. Like a very distinguishable like Dracula, like the Bela Lugosi, like that's the Universal
or like
designs.
Frankenstein with the big the green big head and the
like that's why with all these other adaptations, like the Frankenstein's monster looks a little bit different from that original one. At least when it's done by a different studio, but
even
it's a gray area.
Even that new Del Toro one, fucking sexy man from Euphoria is playing Frankenstein. Penis Man.
Jacob Elordi.
Yeah, fucking hate that guy. Just kidding. I actually see him at things. I'm like, where are you? How are you here? What are you doing here? I'm like,
he's a good actor. I'll say that.
Yeah, he is.
Like, he is.
Yeah. I saw it funny when it was just an unexpected casting. Him as
Mr. Penis Man.
Yeah,
that Frankenstein reveal is actually really cool though. He looks great.
I mean, it's probably going to be an excellent movie. It's Del Toro. So
yeah, I'm sure it is.
You gotta have faith.
It's exciting stuff.
What else is there to talk about? We have dude, the docket is fucking crazy.
There's a
release date for
stuff.
Well, there's a release date for Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
They had to push it back because a certain someone. No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna talk about David and be like, they push it back because of his song, but no.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Damn.
No, it's not actually why.
Yeah,
he's actually done. Listen, he didn't do anything, but he's not even a person of interest right now. Okay.
Yeah, apparently. He's not. He's no longer on the suspect list.
What do you mean? No, buddy, he never was.
Anyway, so Spider-Verse, when is it coming out?
It's coming out.
Is there a reason why Invincible isn't using his songs anymore?
It's coming out on June 18th, 2027.
Great.
When did the last one?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it was 2023.
Yeah, like 2023.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
4 years.
Guys, big cliffhanger. Come back next year. Just kidding.
How long was the wait between
when it comes out?
Honestly, yeah. How long was the wait between Empire Strikes Back and
it was like
Return of the Jedi?
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Okay, so this will exceed that.
Yeah.
Which, from hearing whatever people said at the time, was
this
an
might exceed the Batman
wait.
too.
You know what? Yeah, we're experiencing it twice.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Unbelievable bullshit.
Yeah. What's funny, it's making me think of another beloved animated property that stopped doing this, which is Invincible. Which, Invincible had that crazy long wait between season 1. Dude, season 2 of Invincible, we're moving on from the Spider-Verse has a new release date. Woo!
Yeah.
It's great. We're moving on. Invincible season 4 got announced today. I'm so happy that these last 2 seasons have come out like right after the last one. Thank God.
Oh, it's going to be yearly, right?
Season 2 gets such a bad rap because it came out like 3 years after season 1. And
that was nuts.
And then they forced them to take like an 8-month break in the middle of the season. And they were
what
like,
a terrible decision.
Everyone's like, why'd you do that? Like, then the people made like, weird. The show's done. They're like, this is Amazon. They're like, Amazon's doing this, not me. Or like, this wasn't our idea. I'm so happy that they moved away from that they're not Spider-Versing us. Like, here's the next fucking season. Here it is. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank God. Because, dude, that season 2 break killed all the hype. Like, it came back, and nobody was talking about the show anymore. It was just a terrible idea. But thankfully, they've done away with that.
I don't know, because I feel like Invincible is never, like... I feel like if that was true, it wouldn't be in the positive place it is
it's
right now.
It's always going to be popular. Like, obviously, it came back, and people were still engaged. But
yeah. It definitely was not good.
No, like, that's a terrible idea, and people were pissed off.
Yes.
Like, we were all like, what the fuck is this? This makes no sense.
I didn't even watch the first half until the second half came out, because I was like, I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
Like, I've waited this long. I can wait a little bit longer. Like,
that's the way to do it, honestly.
Yeah. I did not get spoiled at all.
Good. I think it just speaks to how, like, beloved that story is. That franchise.
Yeah. Also, Lee Pace is Thrag.
Oh, really?
I was
Ronan the Accuser?
I was.
And Big Sexy Elf from the Hobbit movies?
Yeah. He's Thrag.
Yeah.
I was cool. fully convinced.
I saw him in there. What? The Who?
Yeah, I was fully convinced it was going to be Bryan Cranston after all that talk from the previous season where they're trying to find him a role. But I like this. He did a little
he did a
voiceover monologue at the NYC panel, and he sounds good.
Okay.
I'm excited for it.
I did not know that. Because I saw in that reveal today they showed the concept art for him, and someone who hasn't read ahead in the comic book, I know he's a pretty big deal from my understanding.
He's a major player in rest of the story.
I am spoiled for some shit that he's done in the book, so that's unfortunate. Yeah. But I've been excited to see him. I saw the memes like when shit was going down in Invincible. They're like, "Where's Thrag?" And it's him getting his fade done. He's getting his hair tapered up. He always have that very fresh cut.
So
this
either this season or next season should be adapting the Invincible War arc.
Is that not what this fucking the Invincible's coming to Earth was? I thought that was the Invincible.
No, that's not the Invincible War. The Invincible War takes place in it's an entire arc that takes place in space. When that season comes, I don't think a single second will be set on Earth. I've heard that this show or the book just fully goes to space for quite some time. It leaves Earth for probably a good half of the entire story. I don't think takes place on Earth. I could be misremembering that, but they do go to space for quite a long time, and a lot of the story is told through that. So we're getting there. We're getting there real quick. I've read the entire series. I'm very excited for you guys to experience it because it's unbelievably good. Yeah, it's incredible. Have you read any of the comic, Ben, or no?
I need to get a physical copy of it because when I read comics digitally, I can't really do it unless it's like on my phone or something. But like even then, I'm just like, I just prefer I think someone's talking in the background as soon as I started to talk. Sorry about that. But I need to get a physical copy of it. I really want to read it. Yeah. But yeah, I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it to everyone. You can definitely do what Evander's doing where you don't spoil the show for yourself. I kind of wish I did that, but there's enough like differentiation between the book that I kind of was like, I want to see how it was originally told, and then I'll experience it through how he's like, because Robert Kirkman himself was like, the book is what I initially planned, but the show is now my revisions and tweaks to the story to make it tighter and a little bit more fleshed out.
I think that's good.
Which I really appreciate.
I think that's good.
That's great.
Because next season they confirmed they're doing the canceled story with Damien Darkblood that he wasn't able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Don't stray too far because that's what happened with The Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman has effectively written 2 lengthy ongoing masterpieces in Walking Dead and Invincible. And Invincible is straight up adapting the comic book. Minimal changes, but not big ones. Walking Dead took the concept and very quickly was like, fuck all that. Like, we're going... It hit the core notes. But did you guys watch The Walking Dead?
No, I've avoided it.
season 5.
So did you meet Tyrese? Guy with the beanie and the hammer?
Yeah.
That guy is in the whole book. He is like Rick's best friend from like the minute he wakes up. And I remember watching the show and I was like, where the fuck is Tyrese? And then I stopped watching it and then I picked it back up later and watched up to like season 4 or whatever. I was like, he's here now? I'm like, was in this whole book. It's an incredible book, by the way. It's really good. And has a really, really good ending.
I've read the first few issues, but I have to pick it back up. I have the first omnibus that I have to get through, but I'll get to that at some point. I just know, isn't Daryl is like it's an original character for the show, right?
Yes, Daryl is an original character, and there's one more.
Is it Michonne?
No,
she's in the
Michonne
comic.
is in the book. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the book.
I don't remember, but Daryl is a completely original character, which is interesting that he took off so much.
Yeah, didn't he get a spin-off? Does he have a spin-off show?
Yes, he's like on the 3rd season of his spin-off show.
So, are they still making Walking Dead content right now?
Yes, they did.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure there's a show airing as we speak.
It's
insane. A huge franchise. You might not be old enough to remember this, Brandon, but when that shit came when The Walking Dead came out, that shit was fucking everywhere. That shit started a fucking whole ass revolution. Like you could,
everyone I know in high school watched that.
Yeah,
except for me.
It was everywhere. It was, and I was talking with some friends the other day about how when Game of Thrones ended, the push was like everyone was like, we need to make our own Game of Thrones. Like Amazon was like, we need to make a Lord of the Rings show, and Netflix was like, we need to make The Witcher because we need to recapture the magic of of Game of Thrones. That was the biggest show. And what people don't realize is when a show comes out, and there's always that one show that's the biggest thing on TV, right? The show that follows it as the biggest thing is never the exact same type of show. We went from like Breaking Bad to Walking Dead to Game of Thrones to Stranger Things, to like The Boys, and like it was never like, it never went from like, here's a crime show being the biggest show to another crime show about a drug dealer to another crime show about a drug dealer. So I advise TV executives, whatever the biggest thing right now is on, or what's the biggest thing on TV at the moment? What's the show everyone's watching?
The Rookie.
CSI.
Whatever. I guess
911.
I guess it's Stranger Things.
911. Yeah.
Also, I guess it's Stranger Things. Stranger Things is an overreach.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose.
Yes.
I'll tell that shit when the last season comes out. I was gonna fucking go sicko mode. Everyone's gonna watch that shit. All studio executives. When Stranger Things ends and you're like, the power vacuum is open, we can fill that void. I promise you, don't try to make another Stranger Things. It's not gonna work. It's always gonna be something.
Not a great plan.
I know it's not a great plan, and they are going to. They're all gonna try, and I promise you, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be some other random show that somebody made. Like no one thought Stranger Things was gonna fucking. And to be fair, these shows have overlap, so like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead and that shit were on at the same time. But point is, I just think that's a funny thing that studios do. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I really don't know what show is on that level at the moment. I don't think any
Mandalorian was for like a minute, but then season 3.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, that's just Mandalorian season 1 and 2 definitely were. I remember everyone was talking about.
How about Smiling Friends?
Oh, I love Smiling Friends.
Did you watch the new episode?
It's out. It's out.
Yeah. The first episode of season 3 is out.
I did not know that. I did not.
It's so good. You should watch it.
I'm
but
going to after this.
Yeah, let's move on to the next thing.
We're on the TV show topic, so let's just talk about Peacemaker, please.
Okay. So, yeah, let's. All right,
wait.
That.
We gotta establish that you guys, me included, we're all very big James Gunn fans.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have.
This is a new show.
I might have to open this up, if that's allowed.
Are we done with news? Are we moving into this?
I mean, we
got
any
more news we want to talk about first?
News is over when we do the comic book club.
Okay, fine. We're gonna talk about Peacemaker. Look, for you guys to understand, we are all very big James Gunn fans. Evander is probably the biggest James Gunn fan here. He has stated in previous. He has a tattoo of the Suicide Squad that I helped draw for him.
It's true.
He has autographs from this man. We love this guy. Superman was a great movie. We've loved most of the content that he has put out, if not all of it. Let's go around and say our general thoughts, and then we can dive in to how we felt about this season overall in the finale. Look, I'll start because it seems like Evander is having a mental breakdown. This season of Peacemaker is, in my opinion, the first real look into James Gunn's burnout, and I think that has been a shared thing from everyone watching this show. This show, while I think is a very good character study for Peacemaker, misses on almost every other front, in my opinion. Almost every episode feels like filler, and it feels like it could have, like 3 episodes could have been condensed into 1. A lot of our favorite characters from season 1 were not given any time to shine. Personally, my favorite and a lot of other favorites was Vigilante from season 1, and he doesn't really get anything to do until the last 3 episodes, and even then, he gets some good moments, but it's not really most of it. The show, I just think, severely fumbled. And let's move to Ben.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I agree. Again, I really liked season 1 of Peacemaker. When Creature Commandos first came out, I was like, all right, this is a fun little thing. It's probably my least favorite Gunn project, including all of his movies, but it was still good. It was still good. Peacemaker has gone below that in a much, while I like Creature Commandos, I'll rewatch it. I'm not going to rewatch Peacemaker season 2. I'm not. No, I don't think it's necessary, and I just feel like the show got its priorities very mixed up. The biggest thing for me that did not really work, I think you still could have had this in the show, but I think it takes up the prime spotlight, and that is the romance between Harcourt and Peacemaker. We had little glimpses of that in season 1, and James Gunn chose to take that and make it the prime thing in season 2. Obviously, you have the Argus plot, you have the Earth X plot, which is the lowest subplot, by the way. Earth X. Let's just think about that for a second. Earth X is the lowest subplot in the whole show.
Sorry to interrupt you for a second, but
no, you go ahead.
This should not be a spoiler, by the way. We'll get into major spoilers when we talk about the show.
The whole internet
together.
knows. It doesn't matter.
But Earth X was incredibly obvious from the jump. Everyone knew it. This was not a good mystery.
I will say one thing. I think if the show came out all at once, or if this was condensed, I really think this could be condensed into a 2-hour special or something. I'm sure someone's going to do that. They're going to make it all one 2-hour movie or an hour and a half movie, something like that. But Earth X, if you watched it all in one sitting, I think most people would not pick up on it until they reveal it. But with the week by week thing, that reveal did not work that well, because as soon as someone pointed out that there's no people of color in the background, it became very obvious. Because it got to the point where if it wasn't going to be Earth X, there's going to be a very big problem. So yeah, I think I'll have more to say when we have things to bounce off each other, but I'm very disappointed, and I think the finale was my least favorite episode. I understand, I'm not someone that's give me cameos, give me, I'm not one of those guys that expected Multiverse of Madness to show every single Marvel actor of all time. I'm all in for narrative purposes. I just don't think this narrative was particularly strong or interesting enough to have featured as your project following up Superman. I think if we got this while having a bunch of other stuff going on in between, maybe acceptable, but the next project is Supergirl, from my understanding. So
I think Lanterns is first.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go.
I'm fairly certain, but yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, your turn, buddy.
How you doing, guy?
Yeah, you doing okay?
So. I love James Gunn. He's my favorite filmmaker. I like everything he does. I liked Creature Commandos. I really like Superman. And you always wonder, like, when you love something so much, like, am I capable of... Am I biased? Will I like something bad if they make it? Because there's some people in this circle who love certain creators who have made things that are not good. And they will defend it to their dying breath on the internet. And it's like, do they actually believe that? Or are they lying to themselves? I now think they're lying to themselves because this happened to me. My favorite creator made something I think is not good. And I'm not in denial about it. It is just was not good. But I would like to address this with only helpful thoughts. So, what I'll say is I think that a lot of time in this season was wasted. There was one episode that was just about Tim Meadows and 3 Argus agents going in Peacemaker's house, and then the other half of the episode was them on Economos' roof drinking. And then that episode finished, and that felt like one scene that was 30 minutes long. And then we got a subplot about Eagly, and that was cute, but that was a bit of time. And then we got another episode that was about Peacemaker picking up a box and moving it to a different house. And that felt like one scene, but it was a whole episode. So that was weird to me. And when that happens, I'm like, well, you got like 2.5... If you were to condense all those into one scene, like they should be, you have 2 free episodes now. You have 2 episodes worth of space. And I was thought to myself, this Earth X reveal really should have happened way earlier. Because some things that happened that bugged me would not have bugged me so much if I spent more time there. Firstly, when Vigilante killed Peacemaker's dad, who was revealed to be a good man in this universe, it was funny. My initial reaction was a laugh, but then it kind of frustrated me that I was like, wow, we got to see a whole new side of this villain from season 1, played by an actor I really like, and he's immediately murdered as soon as we get to see this new side of him. That would have been funny if I had like at least one episode with him, right? If he had this if we had one more episode, but as soon as we learn that he dies, what I think is this show is like a really good seed that grew into something that was just not. You have to take care of a plant as it grows. You have to trim off the extra branches and vines, and it's like a freaking Zen garden. And it was a really good seed was planted, and it grew into something that got too unruly. I think this show should have mostly been on Earth X. I think that the stuff with Peacemaker and Harcourt is really good, and I think that it serves as a really good foundation for everything he does. I think the finale opening with that moment with him and her was incredible. I thought it was so good. I love the writing. I love the part where she's flipping out, and I like that James Gunn, when he writes it, is just very honest. He wasn't like sugarcoating. He's like, yeah, Harcourt's really kind of a fucking bitch. He never really sugarcoats that. He's like, Harcourt is a fucking bitch, and she's not really a great person. But Peacemaker likes her anyways, because he's a fucking moron, and he's just such a sweet guy.
Whoa, careful with the moron. That's not cool.
Okay. True. Anyways, I think James Gunn does such a good job writing him as like this hapless idiot, unintelligent man, you might say, who's very kind and loving, but is just been forced and pigeonholed into this world and life of horrible shit. So I love seeing him like a good, nice, normal person. But then you got the opening credits, and then the show went on, and it kept playing glam rock in slow motion. And by the fourth time it happened, I was texting the group chat very angrily while everyone was asleep, because I don't mind the constant needle drops. They don't bother me. In Creature Commandos, I know a lot of people were like, oh, James Gunn be doing the same thing, whatever. I thought it was fine. Superman didn't have a bunch of needle drops in slow motion, but I saw a lot of people like, okay, Suicide Squad had the slow motion walk with the needle drop from the Pixies. Guardians of the Galaxy has a fucking needle drop in every single movie. And then Creature Commandos had the needle drop with that fucking polka song. Fine. But then this one has some crazy fucking I'm a goofy goober ass fucking glam rock song playing.
Fuck your heart in the ass,
while they're
dude.
all slow motion walking through their office. And at that point I was like, why are they doing this? I was like, in the context of the scene, why are they all lined up and walking forward in their office together while this I don't want my heart to get fucked song plays after a flashback on a boat of, not even actually, it's Foxy Shazam, and it goes from, it literally one needle drop slow motion scene will end, and then another one will immediately start, and then a new one starts. It was driving me crazy. They did, We're Not Gonna Take It, but like a slow version of it, and then it went to that band that was playing on the boat, and then it went to like the Foxy Shazam opening credits song, and then it went to Don't Fucking Fuck My Heart, and I was like, why are you doing this?
They play these songs from beginning to end.
Yes, the whole song. And I was walking today, and I texted my friends, and I said, man, did you ever think about how if you were an episode of Peacemaker, and you were just out taking a walk, that everything would go to slow motion? You have to listen to a glam rock song from beginning to end for no reason. And that's what this happened. It really felt like, I texted my friend, he said, this is a good way of putting it. It felt like a parody of James Gunn. It felt like what everyone says he is, that he's not. I was like, it's so much fucking music and so much slow motion. And to get into more substantive issues, Judo Master, I like this character. Why is he so okay with them? And why are they so okay with him? When we first see him at the start of the season, he's like, fuck you guys. The aliens were going to save the Earth and you killed them. So, like, why is anyone cool with him? Why is he cool with them? So, like, why are they cool with him? Because he clearly wanted to destroy the Earth. Why is he cool with them? They killed his boss and fucking tortured him and beat him up. That was very weird writing. I guess he played one game of Scrabble with Adebayo and was okay with it. And then one other character, I have said this whole season, I think the episode when he finally has Peacemaker arrested, I was like, I really, really like Rick Flag Sr. I think he's an awesome character. I love that he's a good guy who has, as funny as this sounds, it's actually a good book. He has a sex addiction. I think that's interesting that that's written like a serious part of his character. It is kind of played for laughs, but it is kind of like he's clearly like a sad, lost person. He's acting very unusual, and I'm on the fence. He is either being very weirdly written by James Gunn, or Lex Luthor is doing some weird shit we're going to learn about in the next movie. Because I don't know why. That's what I think. Because when he first started acting, I was like, why is he fucking okay? It was so weird when, just to go in the episode, when all the dead Argus agents are getting dragged down, he's just laughing at everybody. I was like, why is he doing this? I'm like, he's supposed to be a good guy who cares about his team. But then the episode ended, and when the one senator's like, you're sounding a lot like Lex Luthor, I'm like, okay, maybe Lex Luthor is like doing some weird shit to him, like mind controlling him or something, or like fucking doing like having someone drug him and making him act weird. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that I don't actually think it's Lex doing it. I think it probably took place before the meeting with Lex, kind of making him want to do that meeting with Lex. And I assume it's to do with whatever villain ends up being the villain of Man of Tomorrow with the brain thing. But I don't think he's
himself.
Just Rick Flag Sr. Yeah, because the distinction between him and Creature Commandos and Superman and then this show, it feels like three completely different people, in my opinion.
I think the Creature Commandos in the Superman version, I think he's...
You're probably right. I have to rewatch
I think
Superman,
that he's
but
just a good guy.
especially this version.
I actually think because he did not want to go to Luthor. He was like, "Fuck it." I think that's when he got grabbed or something happened to him. That's my theory.
I'm just curious as to what it would be then. Because
by theory, like...
Here's the thing. If that were to happen, I wish they would have shown that. That's all I'll say. I think that would have made the show much more interesting.
Yeah,
if
I
that
agree.
Is the case.
Again, maybe it's some big fucking reveal to doing whatever fucking Superman, whatever.
That would be fucking lame, though, because, like, you're carrying over a plotline from a TV show, and this is what, like, Marvel was getting in trouble with doing, like, where they would establish things in TV shows and then try to carry them over to the movies, and people were like, don't do that. That's the same thing that, if that's the case, then it's kind of the same thing. I understand that, like, when we pick up things in Man of Tomorrow, things will be reestablished, but, like, I don't like it when they do that. Because they're completely different audiences.
I think they have to be smart with how they do it, which is, like, the concern. I think, like,
here's the thing, though, because this show,
I was gonna
as disappointing. Yeah,
I was gonna say, can I say what I? So I haven't read what this is. The plan is called Salvation, right? That's like a comic book, right? It's like it's like, let me just. I didn't read this, but I know it. It's all the villains get sent to the prison planet, and like fucking Darkseid's there. And they Arkham City that shit, and there's like different gangs, right? There's like
Lex so
Luthor
on the lead up
Joker.
to one of the Crisis events, I think it might have been Infinite Crisis, but I'm not completely sure about that. Planet Salvation was created as a haven, well, not a haven, but a haven of sorts for villains to go to, and they end up having
the Suicide Squad.
Their own battle world kind of. Yeah. And Lex and Joker, I think, are the main. It's a very limited.
It's a couple
limited
issues, right?
run of comics. It's only a couple, and James Gunn has said that they're not adapting that storyline. They're just taking the planet from those comics to be adapted, and it's going to be a major part of the universe going forward. And he also said that this was like the initial idea when he first came to DC as like his world thing.
George R.R. Martin made that. He didn't write the comic, but he wrote like the story for it.
Oh, what?
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. It's his idea, and someone else wrote it. That's crazy.
That's funny.
That's wild. But they set up that, and then they also set up Checkmate, which I wasn't super familiar with. It sounded familiar.
There's a comic book that came out semi-recently. A Checkmate comic.
Oh, okay. That's probably why.
I believe.
But I was looking it up, and it looks like the members have been rotating. Like Alan Scott was a member at one point.
Like Checkmate is like Amanda Waller's like. It's like a more ethical Suicide Squad. It's like she runs a team of more ethical. It's like where the Suicide Squad is largely villains. Checkmate is like anti-heroes, I believe, and heroes.
All right. Yeah, because I was looking up images, and the team seems to fluctuate, but Peacemaker is on it in comics. Again, Alan Scott, a bunch of probably C to D list heroes. But I'm curious what they're going to do with that. But again, outside of those two reveals, and even with those two reveals, the finale was incredibly disappointing in my opinion. Like the way it ended. So I was watching the recap podcast that they put out every week, and James Gunn said the episode was initially going to end with Checkmate as they were walking towards the door. That's how it was going to end.
That would have been even worse, because at least this ends on some kind of interesting cliffhanger where I'm like, oh, so now I know where it's going. That's
honestly, the cliffhanger made me more mad, because I was like, okay, at the very least, end the story.
Would you have preferred the fucking slow-mo walk at the Checkmate building?
The thing is, I think they would have been the same for me, honestly, because like the reveal to me, it's not that big of a reveal.
No, it's not.
I'm
about
just
the
like,
reveal,
okay,
it's
cool. I don't give a fuck.
I think for me, it's that at least now I know what the next story will be. Like the Checkmate.
Oh yeah, I know.
What's fucking going? I mean, like, what is like a slow mo walk? At least this ending was the scene in Monsters Inc. where Mr. Butterworth, whatever the fuck his name is, throws him into the fucking snow planet. And I can think of Monsters Inc.
I wish that was the planet they went
Mr.
to.
Waternoose
and they run into
there?
each other. Yeah.
Hey, have your fucking piss ice cone. Yeah, that's good
now.
stuff.
That's a cliffhanger that would have went over very, very well. Yeah. However, this cliffhanger, I'm like, okay, so you're referencing some very niche comic book knowledge that you're not even gonna fully adapt. You're just taking like a little piece of it. Okay, just show me in the movie. I don't care. Like, it's fine. You're not generating hype by doing this. Like, yeah. I just want to preface this here. I want these movies to be good. I want all these projects to be very awesome. We are all rooting for James Gunn and what he's doing. This isn't me. This is not coming from a place of hate. I'm just, after 8 weeks, I'm a little bit fed up. Okay, that's just it.
I agree. I think we all share that sentiment. I sadly feel
that the last episode was a big nothing burger. For positive speculation, I think that... So the only thing I've seen that James Gunn has commented on... I've seen two things. Oh, the other one doesn't matter as much as we'll talk about later. Apparently, Salvation is going to be like part of the central mystery of Lanterns. I think it sounds sick as fuck if Lanterns in some way is about all the villains disappearing, being sent to Salvation, and it's like a fucking mystery, like with the Green Lanterns like investigating like actual fucking cops. That sounds cool. Like, you actually get fucking, like, Sinestro is sent to this weird planet. There's a bunch of villains there, and, like, the Lanterns have to uncover what's going on. And there's, like, a government conspiracy with the Argus, and they go to fucking space, and they go to fucking other dimensions and shit. That sounds cool. That sounds cool to me. And that sounds like Green Lantern-y shit. Which they said. They said the show is going to be, like, dark and grounded, but will also, they said there will be fantastic, weird sci-fi shit in it. Cool.
I'm very excited for that show. Yeah. Also, it's going to be the first DCU project that isn't James Gunn. Yeah. So I'm very excited to get into this universe where it's other creators. James Gunn has said countless times that he wants this universe to be, you know, a hodgepodge of creators making different projects and them combining at some point. But this is exciting. Yeah. Lanterns is very exciting to me.
Yep.
But what I was going to say beforehand is when you have three people that are as, you know, in tuned with this stuff as we are, and we have to look up what these teases are, I don't think that's a good sign.
I will say because I feel like again, I don't read these quotes, but I feel like you had told me that he said that, like, you will definitively understand where the DCU is going when Peacemaker ends.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't.
He uses very careful deceptive language.
I was about gonna say I see he does that. I think he uses this vaguish language, and I didn't say this before. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this.
This is the first podcast ever. It's always been us three. I've had this
thought in my head before for no reason.
Oh, hi, Jason.
I've had this thought in my head before that I've wanted to say that I'm like, Gunn, don't. It's not don't talk on Twitter. But saying things that are going to be confusing to people, I think it causes frustration. You don't want to recreate WandaVision. Where
I was just going to say, it's just like the actors.
And over-promising things and making jokes and people will not find it funny. They won't like it.
Paul Bettany, I've been waiting to work with this actor my entire career, dude.
Not funny to think. Funny, but when it's like...
That was crazy.
It's like, I know it sounds dumb, because, like, I promise you, I don't freak out. Like, there's no cameos. If this Peacemaker finale...
Yeah, I don't care about that.
If this Peacemaker finale was all just that opening scene like that, but longer, more of that, without fucking glam rock every 5 seconds and like maybe one fight scene, I'd be like, peak. It wasn't that. I didn't need the cameo. Speaking of cameos, did you see you try getting Deadpool in this shit?
Yeah. I sent that to the group chat.
That would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been sick.
That would have been so awesome.
I don't
that would have like
how that
made
came
it
up.
Go on trending.
I think because
that would have been
he's
insane.
friends with Ryan Reynolds. He's mentioned that.
Yeah,
so I
remember the whole Green Lantern
he just
story,
like texted him and was like, "Do you like? Can we do a scene where you open a door and you're there as Deadpool?" And Green Lantern was like, "Yes." And Marvel was like, "You have to do this and this and this and this and this." He's like, "Okay, fuck it."
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think like Disney or Marvel were gonna play ball with like the first live action Marvel DC crossover in a HBO show.
Dude,
you know,
that would have been so good for both of them, though.
Oh yeah, no,
so stupid.
That would have put this show like this show is not charting on Nielsen right now. It's doing good. Like it's doing like fine with the ratings, but like it's not like trending like at all. This would have made it like skyrocket. Like that would have been insane.
Everyone would have been talking about that.
Yeah.
And again, the episode still would have been out good. It wouldn't have moved the meter on this episode, but I would have been a little happy nerd. I would have been like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'm happy. That made me smile. Yeah, I would have hit the thumbnail face.
I'd be in the soy jack.
I would have soy jacked in my room at fucking 2 a.m. when I was watching that shit. As it is, because I've heard that the people defending it are like, you don't understand, it's a character study. I do understand. My issue is that the character study does not. This finale was 10% character study, 90% slow-mo glam rock.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was slightly under the influence while I was watching this episode, and I thought I was like I thought I was imagining these songs playing back to back. I was like, this cannot be real. This is an hour-long episode, and I'm listening to the 4th song in a row, and they're just dancing.
Remember when you guys last week were saying, thank God next week's episode is an hour.
I know, right? We're like, hell yeah, big shit coming in. Yeah. This is not, I'm not like, the DCU is good. I don't feel that way. I think one of the biggest detractions for this season, actually, has been the fucking so much music. So I'm still excited for Man of Tomorrow. I think that's interesting. It looks like we're getting Brainiac in it. Fucking Superman and Lex Luthor and fucking Rick Flag Sr. figuring out what's going on. Yep. And more people fucking fighting. Sounds cool to me. I'm still excited. Right? So I'm still with you, James Gunn. And anything I'm saying here is just fucking as someone who loves everything you do. Just
look when you look at the timeline of this show, like if you've been following James Gunn as closely as we have, you know that this show was written during a time where he was
doing everything
in full production of running DC and learning how to write Superman and trying to make that movie well. So I'm not trying to excuse this misstep because this is not good. I'm not happy with this. Yeah. But this is clearly an indication that the dude has been spread far too thin. So I really hope he takes a step back from writing after Man of Tomorrow for a bit.
Or even just writes one thing at a time.
Just writes one thing. Yeah. It looks like Man of Tomorrow is his sole focus at the moment, so that's good.
Yeah, that is true.
I hope so.
That is true. There's nothing else he said in the pipeline. Because he was probably writing Creature Commandos, figuring out Superman, and plotting out Man of Tomorrow. And it's like, that's a lot, buddy. And also like being in meetings about the video games, and in meetings about Lanterns, and in meetings about Clayface, and fucking.
And trying to figure out when the fuck Batman's gonna appear. Be there. All this stuff. Yeah,
they're talking about who's gonna be cast for Batman, and fucking weapons director man probably hitting him up, being like, "Didn't need Joker script? Didn't need Joker script?" You know.
John Cleese.
Yeah. So like, take it easy. Yeah. One thing, buddy. I fucking.
What I'll say about Peacemaker season 2 is that James Gunn, I respect making something for yourself.
Yeah.
Because he said that this is his favorite thing that he's ever made. I don't agree. I think he's definitely made much stronger projects, but I can respect your craft and making something for yourself as an artist. I can respect that. Not for me, but it's for James Gunn, for himself.
Yeah,
it's a little. I don't know.
I will, as I've said before, I do think this is some of his strongest like character writing, and like I feel like he's really connected with Peacemaker as a character, and I think. Well, yeah. And I think like. He had some moments in this where I'm like, was really like I brought up in last week's episode when he finally has that moment when they're fucking murdering his brother in front of him and he's just freaking the fuck out. I'm like, that was really well done. What a good moment for that character. Like very ballsy to like write your superhero in such a fucking vulnerable and sad state to have people see him like that. And even the scene in this episode where they find him at the motel and they're talking to him, I was like very like. Responsibly, well not responsibly, but very like realistically written and grounded. Like there's like, we're your friend. Like what the hell? Like it just felt like a real scene. And yeah, it was the glam rock, bro. It was the the glam rock. Needed to chill. I feel like what happened was this Peacemaker season 1 soundtrack. I bet that's just some nerdy ass music James Gunn loves, and like people were like blasting like the songs in that show, and he's like, I was right. Everyone who fucking said I was a stupid nerd for liking this glam rock, I made it popular, and watch season 2. And then season 2, I was like, stop. Relax.
Stop.
It's like,
please.
One an episode. 2 maybe some one.
Yeah. You already won. You already won. Stop. Yeah. He's already
one dead. An episode, and maybe twice a season you can play one at the start and one at the end. You can't. You can do Fox Shazam in the credits and at the end of the episode as a fun live performance, but you can't do any other songs, James Gunn. That whole episode, there can't be nothing between those. You know, I was like, if this...
He's got slow-mo, needle drops. Sounds like Zack Snyder.
Yeah, literally. They must have been talking. They were good friends. Yeah. Like, when they recorded that episode of Rick and Morty, Zack Snyder's like, you need to do a couple more slow-mo needle drops. James Gunn's like, I love those motherfuckers. That's some... Bro, Dude, people pit them against... They have so much in common. They love doing shit for themselves. They love their specific nerdy shit. They love their slow-mo and their needle drops. You know? They're just vibing.
Yeah. All right. You know,
they sound like cool guys to hang out with.
I would, bro.
I would hang out with.
I've said that.
Look, we're gonna have Zack Snyder over to the house. We're gonna watch movies with him.
That was so.
Yeah,
that was so funny. Was it you or Jack?
It was Ben. It was Ben's idea.
Yeah, because fucking it was Ben. Because Wade met him. He was like, I bet if you asked him to hang out, he'd say yes. He probably fucking would.
Yeah. So look, to close out Peacemaker, do you guys have any final thoughts or ranking or ratings or anything like that?
I don't have ratings or rank. Just I wasn't very happy. I've given some thoughts on what I think could have been done to be better, and if anyone has an issue with that, none of my ideas were more cameos. Okay, I gave my thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't think more cameos will fix it. I think there was just some pacing issues, and I agree that this is a character study. I think there should have been more time focused on the character and less time on I think just meandering about. And that's my thoughts.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I said what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're moving on to the comic book club, by the way. We're an hour 15 in.
Yeah. Let's go right into comic book club.
Let's spend more time talking about DC news.
What else, bro? I can't.
Bro, we got a huge list.
I know, but I feel we've covered. Like, I feel like everything else is a little bit old. You know what I mean?
What's the most recent Batman thing?
Batman to be different in the Batman 2. We'll do that one, and then unless there's anything.
Okay, so I had a thought about this that I wanted to bring up. But I was like hesitant to, but my immediate first reaction to this was, oh, they're gonna make Bruce Wayne gay.
What?
Now I feel like because if you were gonna make any Bruce Wayne gay, it would be this one, you know, and that would be his internal conflict. You know what I mean? So I think that this is a very good opportunity for people. For this to happen, you know what I mean?
Where is this coming from?
You said you were under the influence when watching Peacemaker. Are you still under the influence right now?
No, I'm being genuine. This was the first thing my brain went to, because I was like, what could they do differently with the character?
I don't think they would be vague posting about making Batman gay.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing that. What I will say, what I've seen other people saying, is that they're going to make him do the Tony Stark thing at the end of Iron Man and be like, I am Iron Man.
That would be crazy. He said, I don't want that.
Well, like, the thing is, like, if you look at the seeds that were planted in the first film with, like, the mayor, how she's, like, specifically talking to Bruce Wayne. She doesn't know that he's Batman. She doesn't know what he's doing. But she's like, you know, frankly, you could be doing more for the city. So, I don't know. I feel like they are going to... and Matt Reeves has specifically said that they're exploring this new aspect of Bruce Wayne himself. I don't think it's going to... It's a vanilla take to... or a vanilla prediction to say that they're probably going to focus more so on him, because that aspect was kind of more so missing from the first film. So I don't know. I could see them taking it in that direction where he's taking action as trying to solve.
They're gonna make him evil. He just beats the fuck out of innocent people for no reason. How about that? Like you're just fucking getting a fucking chocolate milk at a 7-Eleven and Batman just beats the absolute shit out of you.
Yo, Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man.
Just like pummels the fuck out of him.
My shock you milk.
Yeah, like you're trying to buy the Nesquik and he just beats the fuck out of you.
That would be
you're fucking
awesome.
walking down.
Didn't have enough money for your chocolate milk.
Not even
dude.
for that. Not even
crazy.
that. Like you're just fucking walking to GameStop to buy a new game, and Batman just beats the brakes off of you for no reason.
Have you seen those videos
where
of
the
that
guy,
guy?
if you do anything mundane with Batman, he always does the fucking axe kick over the head. Yeah, it's like that, but not even for anything mundane. Just for no reason. Like, he caught you locking in the wrong part of the hood.
I hope that they end up fleshing out more of Bruce Wayne. I assume they will, because the first movie was so Batman focused, but we'll see. I mean, there's not much more to say about that. I heard that there's some casting stuff going on right now, but that Hugo Strange thing ended up being fake, right?
It was fake.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I hope it's good. I saw something today that was like they're gonna do a Matt Hagen Clayface and then some other villain. Fuck, I can't remember it. But
Matt Hagen is
Scarecrow.
Matt Hagen is the DCU's Clayface.
Oh, is it?
It's not Basil.
I don't know then, because I saw that name and then Scarecrow is going to be introduced in the movie, but that's just today's rumor, which will probably be debunked by tomorrow. So that's that. But
who knows? Who knows? Not me. Now Comic Book Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing the Comic Book Club. Just since this is a new podcast, this is episode 1.
We've done this before.
Comic Book Club is going to be something we do weekly. Just every week we'll be announcing at the end of every episode what comic we'll be reading next week. This week we read the Matt Fraction Batman run issues 1 and 2, which are out currently.
That's why we tell
you
so you can read and talk with us next week.
Well, from this point forward, you will be knowing what book we're going to be reading next, and you can read it for next week's. That way, when we release the next episode, you can listen to us, read along with us, and comment what your thoughts were about the book. But as I mentioned, this week we read Matt Fraction's issues 1 through 2 of Batman. Issue 3 isn't out yet, so we'll get to that. But, yeah, any opening thoughts from you guys about this book? I have quite a bit to say, but
I really dug it. It gave me
Vandal Savage as commissioner's
yeah,
crazy.
There are some crazy things in the story, but I'm like, this
crazy.
Is very clearly someone else's doing.
I found out that this didn't all happen in the previous run. It's currently happening as this book is being written in Hush 2. So in Hush 2, a bunch of things are changing the current canon, apparently, and this book takes place after, because Hush 2 got delayed. So that book should have been finished already, and this would have made this book make more sense, but it is not finished yet.
It makes me think of, have you guys ever read Grant Morrison's JLA run?
I want to. It's on the list.
It's so good, but the first 4 issues, it's Superman as we all know and love, but since it's in the 90s, issue 5, he turns into that stupid electric blue Superman, and it's fuck this, and I was like, why? And he's like, it happened in the comic books, they forced me. So it's just sorry, he's like, my bad, I didn't want it, but that's the comic book that introduced Prometheus and OMAC. It's such a good book. But yeah, it's just funny. It made me Vandal Savage being the commissioner made me think of that. Where one issue Superman's Superman, the next issue is electric blue Superman. It's that was what is when you're writing a big comic, sometimes the casualty of being held to the mainline canon and force you to do something kind of dumb.
Yeah, there's a few things with this book specifically that Matt Fraction has had to adapt to. Especially with Alfred still being dead in canon, which is wild to me. It's been so many years and they haven't retconned that yet, which is
having the balls.
Kind of uncalled for.
Yeah,
Alfred's still dead, but he's an AI that's just around, and he's
I
on
thought he was
crime
like,
scenes now with Batman, which I thought was actually kind of cool.
I
Like,
agree.
he's just
he was
there
like Harry
talking
with
to him.
Dexter.
Yeah, I forgot that Alfred was dead, and I was like, oh, this is sick. Alfred's in the Batcave, and he can walk around with him in a hologram. I'm like, oh, no, he's dead. I was like, he's not back.
Yeah, AI.
But if they ever, when
AI
they do
Alfred.
bring back Alfred, it may be in another, how many years, whenever that happens, keep that. I think that's actually really cool. Even if no one else can see it,
I
if
agree.
it's just like in Batman's cowl, and maybe Robin and whoever has their systems can see Alfred with them, that's cool. I think they should keep doing that.
It's like
Yeah,
Dexter.
Terry Morgan, he's like, you're forgetting the code.
Harry Morgan.
You're forgetting the code, Batman.
Yeah.
This isn't the code.
One thing I
Master B.
One thing I love about Matt Fraction, which he also did in the Hawkeye book, is
gadgets.
like every time the character uses a new gadget, it'll have the description of what
I
it does,
loved it.
Yeah,
and
that's
the little
cool.
like ping. I
loved
just
it.
think it's so. His style is always so great.
And
I
I
love it.
love how on the street he is as a writer. Like if like when you see where these stories are, it's just like, oh, it's some dude stealing some shit out of the back of a truck. It feels very grounded, and I love the way he writes the Gotham crime. Like I love that all the criminals are like, they feel like kind of a little Schumachery with their neon and the mask and stuff.
Yeah,
I really like the aesthetic of how he does Gotham, because you get a different look at Gotham every time a writer takes over in comics, and I really vibe with the aesthetics of this Gotham.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It has been a few days since I've read both issues, but issue 1 was Killer Croc, which I really
Awesome,
liked actually.
nice,
Like that
touching.
book.
Batman the Animated Series ass story too.
Yeah, it really
I will
was.
say, yeah, like I liked that quite a bit, and I found that Batman's dialogue was written quite differently in the story so far, because usually, I mean, like we all know how Batman kind of talks. You know, he's very like no nonsensey kind of guy, but I found him like kind of talking more like casual, more like hard to describe it, like more like how like an actual like guy like talks. You know, like, you know what I mean? Instead of like the straight like Batman-y kind of stuff, because with the animated series they did a good job of having him
Very
talk
blunt.
like Batman, but then he'd be blunt, but you'd have that like subtext of like that emotional layer to it. So there's more to it than just like it's like this broken man type of thing. But I find it interesting how, specifically when he was talking to Killer Croc, and I think he was talking to Tim like this way
In a very
too.
human casual.
At least like. Yeah, very, very like human casually, which is an interesting take for the character. We'll see how that
like
goes.
it.
But, yeah, we'll be a little bit of a change.
I'm a huge, fan of Fraction's writing. I love his Iron Fist and his
he's definitely one of my favorite
Read
writers
his
of
fucking
the modern
Iron
day.
Fist
But
bitch.
I do have to do that. But I was gonna say, like, you tell instantly from this first issue that this Batman is being written completely differently, because he takes his mask off and just talks to the dude like man to man. I'm just like, okay, so this is a completely different version of Batman than I'm used to. This is like the well into his family life. He understands how to be a human being now, which I really appreciated.
Yeah,
because
it shows growth of
which
the
is
character.
mostly focused.
It shows growth of the. It's not like Batman's like, oh, I'm so jaded, I don't know how to interact with human beings anymore. It's like, fucking, you've had.
Yeah.
Side note. Brandon has the Mad Hatter background. I just realized you have the thing that says "I'm late, I'm late." Before I thought Evander was making fun of the rabbit thing, being like, "Oh, Mad Hatter ass background." But while you were talking, my eyes were moving around. I saw the "I'm late, I'm late."
Look, man, I'm on.
Where's
theme,
your top
you
hat?
know?
Yeah, where's your top hat?
Mad Hatter was the
real.
villain in issue 2 of the Batman.
tea?
That's why he's doing this. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
shit,
what everyone. That's actually who the villain was. It definitely wasn't just a story without a villain. It was the Mad Hatter.
You know, it was a story about Robin in the back of a
They made him
truck
cool and badass.
fighting a bunch of guys, which I thought was awesome.
I love
what
when
I'm
Robin is just casually out there. I hate when Batman, bro. Every time Batman and Robin meet in comics, I always feel like it's like, where is Robin? He's just out there. And it's like a special event. I like when Robin's is just there. He should just be there. He shouldn't be like, oh, like Robin's off doing his own shit in his own comic, so we can't have him unless it's a special.
Well, look, we all know what happens to Tim Drake when he goes out on patrol on his own. He gets knocked out by Harley Quinn, and then he gets brought to the Joker, and then he becomes a little Joker, and then he kills the Joker,
and he becomes
and then he grows
AI
up
Joker.
to become the Joker again.
AI Joker.
So you can't leave Tim Drake by himself, man. He's very unpredictable. Yeah, he really. No, I did like it. I'm kind of confused. I think DC is very confused with where the Robins are at, because they're like, okay, we don't know what to do with Tim Drake, so he's gonna be Robin forever, I think. But now we have Damian, who is also a very well-established character, and is supposed to be the Robin that comes after Tim, but Tim is gonna still be Robin. So we don't really know what we're doing.
Tim Drake just needs his own name. You can't be passing this mantle down to the 9th person, bro, because it gets to the point where it's like, God damn. Like,
have you guys ever seen that concept of Tim Drake taking up the Grey Ghost mantle?
I think you've shared that with me before.
But the Grey Ghost, it's not like I get it, you can be like inspired by other things, but like that's like if someone in real life was like, I'm Batman. Like, you know what I mean? Like in that universe, like that's DC's like Batman, where it's like, yeah, it's the fictional vigilante everyone knows about. That's like if in DC
someone was
That's
Spider-Man.
a good point.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone it's like those guys that dress up as superheroes and go out and fight actual crime, and like they'll break up muggings and be like, I'm calling 911. Like they don't actually like, get violent or anything, but then the guy's just like wearing a Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah, it's fucking Robin.
That's
like
what that
Robin
would be.
In the hat with the glasses, the fucking Grey Ghost, and like, people are fighting
so,
like, hey, break it up, the cops are on the way. And they just punch him.
Like maybe if like the canon was different, where like maybe it was a new continuity and you had a vigilante that wasn't Batman before Batman, and it was the Grey Ghost.
I was gonna say, or
like
if
that,
it was like a fucking.
I don't know.
I think there just isn't that much of a precedent for it. Like maybe if they had established that Tim Drake was like a fucking. Like a huge film nerd.
He's a big Grey Ghost fan.
Film nerd. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But that being said, I wouldn't care if they did it. I'd be like, that's interesting. Yeah.
I'm a film connoisseur, and I'm going to be a superhero.
Look, I think anything is better than Red Robin.
Yes,
okay?
It's a delicious burger.
I don't think
Red Robin.
Yum.
Yum, yum.
That was a crazy move. They're like, that's like naming fucking like if Spider-Man got a sidekick, they named him like McDonald's or some shit.
It's like calling
Was Red Robin already a
Yes,
restaurant?
it's just been a restaurant
do you
since
think?
like the 90s and the 80s.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Red Robin, and his costume is now just a Batman cowl, but without the horns.
Yeah,
that's man, dude.
Yeah, he has the
man.
he took man's cowl.
He was
and
man.
He has fucking 2 Chewbacca bandoliers attached to his fucking.
Yeah, the suit is kind of cool, but there's just some, I don't know, it just depends on the artist
really
or like
who
I see interpret
this one he wears. This is how I like it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was getting him mixed up with Damian a bit because they have the same haircut in this comic.
Yeah,
I was like,
they do.
I guess Damian in my mind always has on the hood. But I guess that's how.
Yeah, but like that's not how he's. Like,
that's just how. That's how
they
I picture him in my head. I guess. That's how I've always differentiated.
Yeah, no, I agree. He wears the hood.
Yeah. I do like this costume. It's I love the black and red Tim Drake suit that he got after the death of Superboy or whatever. I'm pretty sure that was what it caused it.
Yeah, the red and yellow. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, good comic all around. We kind of got off of it for a second, but we're 2 issues in. There's not much more we could say. But he's killing it.
GCPD evil again.
It also seems to be
the cops are against.
It also
them.
seems to be a back to basics Batman story, not so much like here's Batman going to fucking space and a big ass robot's coming. Even though I haven't read the comic, but Failsafe
that was like the Zdarsky.
Seemed like a cool concept. I haven't read the comic, but I actually like that idea that it's Batman's fucking contingency plan for himself comes to kill him. Cool idea. I haven't read the issue, but I'm like here, Batman uses his fucking underwear to cover his mouth and falls from space and shit.
What run was it where he fell from space and lived? That's what I just referenced.
It's that one.
But I'm asking who wrote it.
Zdarsky, I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Damn, that dude fell off a bit, didn't he?
I don't know. The failsafe concept.
That's what everyone I know that's read that has told me that, but I mean I haven't read it, so I can't say.
I think the failsafe sounds like a cool idea. Because it's like Batman have his contingency for everyone, and then he has the one for himself, and it's like I'm gonna kill you now. And he's like, calm down, fail safe.
Like,
We're your friend. He's like, shut up, Batman. I'll kill you.
Why doesn't he just call him like Shadow Batman? I would say like how they say it in Scott Pilgrim, but then that might get me canceled. So
incredible stuff.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say that. It's not. You're not getting that out of me.
It's very close to a no-no word.
Yeah, like even if I stretch out one portion of it, it still sounds like
anyways.
So, not gonna do that.
I'm gonna help us all. Fucking Doctor Strange fast forwarding through time. DC KO issue 1 is out.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So Ben, it's the new comic book by Scott Snyder and I think Joshua Williamson is the other co-writer. But
Scott Snyder's getting around right now. It's got a lot going on.
The concept is sick. I'll explain this in a second. The concept is that Darkseid has some crazy power amp right now in DC Comics. So there's a tournament that's being put on. I don't know the details of it. There's a tournament, and within this tournament, there's going to be a bunch of 1v1s, and whoever wins the tournament just kicks the shit out of everybody, gets a crazy power boost, gets to fucking fight Darkseid like a fucking Mortal Kombat boss. It just seems like a fun story.
Yeah, it's just a Mortal Kombat
which sounds
story.
fun.
Awesome.
And they announced that in February, Sub-Zero, Homelander, Vampirella, and the bear from that comic book Brandon got, and I forget one other female character are being added. So it looks like that sounds cool. Oh, and the Annabelle doll. So they're just gonna dig into the fucking. What? It sounds awesome. They're just gonna add in a bunch of Warner Brothers IPs and have them fucking just box it out with fucking like Superman and shit.
Multiverses, if it was a story.
Sounds cool. And it's written by Scott Snyder, who's fucking. Yeah. He's at his peak right now. You know what he's writing? I got this. Brandon's gonna love it. Fucking new issue, new cover of Absolute Batman.
With Deathstroke.
Insane cover.
Goon.
It was all they had. They went crazy when they did this right one.
There. Oh, it's all they had.
It was. It was. Or maybe it was like I wasn't gonna dig through all the. I was gonna dig through all the issues.
Yeah.
I was gonna dig through all the issues, but fucking this book is great. I need to catch up. And
I think we're gonna do a little bit of an unboxing with Evander right now.
They're doing poly bags for DCKO. And it says each bag includes one randomly inserted foil variant covered by a superstar artist. So the foil variants are mystery bags. So I don't.
Wait, Evander,
I hope you got something good.
This is totally off topipic and random, but do you have the mug with you?
Dude, I don't. I'll bring it next time. I mean, that's not a reference to something else we've done before, but.
Don't worry about it. You guys will see.
I'll bring in the mug next episode.
Also, I didn't decide on a book to read next week, so I think we should just read this one.
Yeah, that's fine. I was going to recommend. I had a request.
Yeah.
Actually, can I make my request?
Oh, you could still give a request.
Salvation Run?
Oh, we should do that. That would tie in. Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, before we get into this unboxing, next week we're going to read Salvation Run. Yeah. I don't know how many issues it is, but let's do that.
6 or 7.
Okay.
6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7.
Oh, this is a Greg Capullo one. Greg Capullo variant.
Oh, nice. I love his art.
I'm trying to get his clips so when we go
viral. Jonkler.
He's got the Endgame Joker on there.
Batman, Wonder Woman, Cheetah. Sick. Sweet ass fucking cover. Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's good shit. Yeah, so I was telling Evander before this episode that this is a new trend in comics.
Yeah, I didn't know that,
the foil bag thing, which
I had no idea.
For a second I was like, boo, but Evander put it in perspective. The comic industry is dying.
It's not a good spot.
And this is making people buy comics. Yeah. So this is great news.
Yeah, I said I'm like, it's not like video games where it's like at the height of its financial power and they're like, microtransactions and everything. Can I have one more penny from you, sir? I'm like, fuck no, stop. But yeah, this was episode 1. I think we're done.
Holding it.
Yeah.
Penny.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. This was episode 1 of the After Credit Show. We'll be weekly back here, posting every Monday. I think we decided. So stay tuned for more stuff. Again, Comic Book Club every week.
Plug.
Next week we're gonna be reading Clug. next week we're going to be reading Salvation Run, or
Salvation.
That. And so hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to subscribe,
you guys should also,
like, comment, do whatever you guys need to do.
You guys should also read DCKO issue 1. We can talk about that too. Just brief thoughts.
Yeah, we can talk about that too. It's one issue, so 24 pages. You guys can do it. I have faith in you. Because as a normal human being, you should be able to read a comic book. It's very easy. It's a very simple thing to do.
4 of them?
So if you don't,
in 1 week,
4 of them. That's pushing it a little bit.
8? You're crazy.
Imagine if we asked you to read 12. It would have been. That would have been wild.
Not happening.
So that's the end of the episode.
What's going on beneath that
webcam?
Yay, bye.
And
yo, guys, wait, hold up. Who getting the best?
Okay. Now I'm
okay.
All right.